Captain's log, subdate 200506.2. After exchanging a few messages with Ensign Wass's face, I can't help but feel he's hiding something from me. I might have to call in a favour from his Grand Nagus to see what he's hiding from me, his superior. Welcome everyone to the 19th Halls of Injustice. Today I've got two subjects. One, though, is a guest spot. I asked if I could mirror it from a friend. I hope you enjoy it when I play it. First, though, to our subject. And for that we need Joshua Robinson. Joshua Robinson is a man from Hartlepool who was originally arrested on April the 8th after a drunken incident. A non-matter, one that required simply one to sleep it off in a cell, supported by an article from Northern Echo, where they spoke about it because he was due to appear before a district judge at Teesside Magistrates Court. However, due to concerns about his health, he had agreed to be remanded over a mobile phone from a police station cell while a police officer held it through a hatch on the door. The judge at the time, Helen Cousins, told Joshua Robinson that he would appear before the same court via video link to face the charges. Well, before that, because there was something more to it, he's a bit of an idiot, and due to that earlier mentioned health concern, he was taken to hospital and made to wear a face mask. This was because of the symptoms he was showing being related to that corona thing. We need that Pixie's crack dust. Now, because Joshua Robinson is an idiot, although all articles on him portray him as a yob, without any more information than those very articles, I can't confirm he is in fact a yob or not. He could well be a yuppie. While he was being escorted back to the police vehicle, he had to be restrained by the police because his face mask came off. He then decided in his infinite wisdom, and this might be where he's considered a yob, to attempt to headbutt the Rosa and then to cough in the face of another police officer. Many could argue, and I'm sure some will anyway, that because he was drunk, how guilty someone can be depending on the varying level of drunkenness. My view is guilt. Simples. This, by the way, and probably the part that may not help him the most, or may not have helped him, we do have a sentence, was when he said he hoped the officer that he had coughed on caught it. Right. The Teesside Magistrates Court found him guilty of 2 charges, one of assault on an emergency worker and common assault of another. Sentencing guidelines for the Crown Prosecution Service indicate up to 12 months for the first charge, and an unlimited fine. The second charge, up to 6 months, but the fine's also quite hefty. Not unlimited, but it is something to point, look, and chuckle at. So what was the sentence that Joshua Robinson received? For the first charge of assault on an emergency worker, he got 6 months, which is quite lenient. For the second charge of common assault on another, 4 months. They were served together, so it was a total of 10 months, not concurrent, which I'm okay with. I think I've been quite clear in this series how little I care for concurrent sentences. A month later, Joshua Robinson has appeared again in Teesside's Crown Court, this time to appeal the original sentences, but the judge has decided to uphold one of them. This would be Judge Paul Watson, not to be confused with Imagine My Shock meme guy, who loves his soy brain force. Judge Paul Watson QC said, "We observed that the defendant's behaviour on the 6th of April, even in the best of times, was bad enough, but against the setting of this grave national emergency it was despicable. That sentence of 6 months imprisonment was in our view entirely justified in the exceptional circumstances and times we are living in." Basically making an example of him, so others then are deterred from spitting, coughing and hacking in the face of a copper, or speaking moistly. Joshua Robinson's representative said that Joshua Robinson had shown remorse and had limited previous convictions. I wish I had access to those rights now. The judge's entire premise and argument being, the emergency workers deserve the protection of the court, so that the public can truly appreciate and understand the severity of the situation. So what is now going to happen to Joshua Robinson? He will serve 6 months, or be out in 3 for good behaviour, so essentially he could be out in July, or late June, because the 4-month sentence was made concurrent. I'm sure many of you are now wondering, Judge Moist, what is your sentence though? Well, attempting to harm an officer, the guidelines say up to 12 months. He got off light. Attempting to assault an officer is a serious crime, and as such should be treated accordingly. 6 months, fine. And also add one. A fine, that is. The coughing charge. This one's tricky, because the Coronavirus Act, because of the current situation. Upon giving this some considerable thought, there are two things I was thinking of. The first being that it is very hard, even with intent, to give a sentence for something that does not exist in the form of a charge. So you have to instead associate it with another charge. My solution is quite simple. Based on rewatching DS9, I think the sentence should be death the Cardassian way. But I could be wrong, and if I am, by all means let me know if you think of something more appropriate. So I guess next we should go to my friend Felfop, who found something quite alarming, and I think it's worth raising in this particular video series, because it shines a rather damning and damaging light on the judging system, the criminal justice system as well, in the US.
Hey there, YouTube, Felfop here. Now here's a story that 5 years ago would have been hammered into the ground on YouTube, but for some reason nowadays nobody in the YouTube community is covering it, so I'm going to try to get it a little bit of traction. This is a few days ago. A Chicago woman shoots boyfriend in the face after he walked in on her with another man. According to police, 26-year-old Tamara Chapman and her 27-year-old boyfriend had gone shopping for groceries early Saturday, April 18th. When they returned to Chapman's home, the man left in her car to drive to his home to grab a blender. When Chapman's boyfriend returned to her home, he found another man in the apartment. Angered, the boyfriend took Chapman's car again and drove back to his home. At that point, Chapman called her boyfriend and demanded that he return her car. When he got back to her home, she refused to drive him home or get him a lift. After the boyfriend attempted to leave on his own through the back door, Chapman confronted him and an argument ensued. Wouldn't let him leave. Isn't that interesting? The man told police Chapman then pulled out a gun, pointed it in his face and said to him, "You're not going to leave me or I'll effing kill you." She then shot him in the jaw. After getting shot, the man ran to a nearby alley and called 911. Police said he was taken to Stroger Hospital where he was listed in good condition. Chapman was arrested at the scene and was later released from jail on a $15,000 bond, according to records from the Cook County Sheriff's Office. Now, obviously, this is a terrible story, but the reason that I want to bring this up in particular is she was released on a $15,000 bond. That's $1,500 is all you have to come up with to your bondsman. So, for $1,500, she got to leave jail after she told him that she was going to kill him and shot him in the face. If this doesn't scream female privilege, I don't know what does. This is exactly the kind of situation I talk about when I say that there are situations where it's better to be a man and there are situations where it's better to be a woman. And anytime you're in court, it's better to be a woman. And this is a perfect example of that. $15,000 bond, that's $1,500 she had to come up with to get out. $1,500. That's like, I mean, that's not nothing, but for shooting somebody in the face and telling them you're going to kill them? Find me the guy that got out for 15 grand that told his girlfriend he was going to kill her and shot her in the face. That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. They put that guy away. They don't even give him bond most of the time. They're like, dude, we let him go, he's going to go kill her. Because that's probably what's going to happen. That makes sense. She shot him in the face. There's a good chance she's going to go shoot him again. I mean, shit. It's pretty obvious at that point, right? She's dangerous. She said she's going to kill him. She shoots him in the face, and they let her go. And this is why I take issue with the one-sided narrative that many people spit out about gender politics and about how it's harder for women than it is for men because depending on the situation, it's better to be a woman than it is a man. And this is a perfect example. If you shoot a man and you're a woman, you got a whole lot better chance of getting off than if you shoot a woman and you're a man. As a matter of fact, when I was looking for this story, another story popped up. This woman, they didn't give all the details, but they're like, yeah, we investigated it and we don't have enough to charge her for. I'll leave a link to that in the low bar. And of course, since there's no woman victim here, the mainstream media wants nothing to do with it, which is again why I'm surprised that YouTube community hasn't latched onto this thing yet. But anyway, have a good evening. Felfop signing off.